Christopher Columbus, the brave hero we all know and some love, is said to have discovered the New World of the Americas and many islands around their area. We are here to tell you that a lot of the information you think you know about him is likely wrong. Columbus was a thief, murderer, and a rapist. The main thing he wanted was gold, food, and permission to have sex with the native women. When the Native Americans didn't comply, he punished them by cutting off body parts and or murdering these poor innocent people. He declared that he was acting in the name of God. Before we get into all of this savagery, let us begin with the roots of this Italian explorer. Christopher Columbus was born in 1451 in Genoa, Italy. His parents were Domenico Colombo and Susanna Fontana Rosa. He had three younger brothers known as Bartolomeo, Giovanni Pellegrino, and Giacomo. He also had a sister named Bianchinetta. He grew up in Genoa for most of his early life until about 1470 when he and his family moved to Savona, Italy. For a small period of time between 1470 and 1476, Christopher Columbus became a privateer, or a pirate attacking ships that belonged to the Moors, until in 1476 when his ship sank off the coast of Portugal, ending his career there. He swam back to shore, and I bet you wouldn't have guessed it, but he survived. Sarcasm, sorry. In 1477, he joined his brother Bartolomeo in Lisbon to become a cartographer. While a cartographer, he marries Filipa Perestrello Moniz, a noblewoman, in 1479. In 1480, he and his wife have their first son, Diego Colon. Somewhere between this time and 1484, he developed the idea to find a quicker trading route to the Indies. In 1484, he went to the King of Portugal and failed to get funding for his expedition. In 1485, his wife Filipa died of tuberculosis. The same year, he moves to Cadiz, Spain, to open a shop that sells maps and charts. In 1486, Columbus meets a woman named Doña Beatriz Enriquez de Arana in Cordova, Spain, who he marries that year. Columbus regains inspiration to get funding for his expedition, to find a faster route to the Indies, but is once again turned down by this time the Spanish court. The next year, he once again asks for funding, but is turned down by Henry VII, King of England, and Charles VIII, King of France. In 1491, he tries to get funding from the King and Queen of Spain, and while he is rejected the first time, in 1492 they change their minds. Here is where the atrocities committed by Columbus begin. Mr. Not Columbus didn't discover the Americas as some people think. If he actually had, there wouldn't have been people there for him to kill. 500 years prior to when Columbus set sail, Leif Erikson, an Icelandic explorer in 1001, is said to be the first European to land in North America. Christopher Columbus did, however, help mark the beginning of a new era. When Columbus arrived in North America for the first time, he described the natives as kind and healthy people. When his ship was shipwrecked, the Lucayans natives helped to save the ship and its cargo. On his way back home, he took 25 natives with him. 7 of them survived the trip. He saw weakness in these natives and wrote in his journal, "I could conquer the whole of them with 50 men and govern them as I please." When Columbus returned to Spain, he told Queen Isabella that this new world was very wealthy and that they should take as much as they can and give nothing back. The Queen was absolutely enthralled with the idea, so she supplied him with, and I quote, 17 ships, 1,500 men, and all of the weapons that they would ever need. Once Columbus reached the New World once more, he demanded that the native people give him food, sex with the women, and gold for all of his men. They refused, so he cut off the noses and ears of these poor people negotiating with Columbus. Soon after, the natives tried to rebel. Columbus saw this as a great excuse to go to war and almost immediately slaughtered the natives. Having only primitive weapons, such as spears and rocks, many of the natives died. Not all of the deaths were caused by murder. When Columbus came back from Spain to North America, he brought back many diseases that killed most of the Native Americans. Despite all the killings of the natives, Columbus still didn't have his gold. Because he didn't want to return empty-handed, Columbus rounded up many, many natives so that they could be brought back and sold as slaves in Spain. During the trip, a lot of the Lucayan natives died. Other natives were held as slaves in the Americas. This resulted in many of the Lucayan natives fleeing into the mountains. Columbus's men then hunted these natives for sport and used their bodies as dog food. Even now, Columbus still didn't have enough gold. He decided to set up a tribute system in which the natives who brought him gold would wear a token that meant they didn't have to bring him gold until the token expired. Anyone who wasn't wearing a token and was not giving him gold was forced to have their hand cut off and wear it around their neck instead of the token. Eventually, he got his gold after killing and torturing many Native Americans. He then started rewarding his lieutenants with sex slaves, particularly young girls. In a letter he wrote, he told his friends that girls between the ages of 9 and 10 were used as currency. 100 castellanos are as easily obtained for a woman as for a farm, and it is very general, and there are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 and 10 are now in demand. In conclusion, I can say that this was a genocidal, thieving, murderous wretch of a human being named Christopher Columbus. I mean, at first he was a pretty innocent guy with good intentions, but all he wanted to do was find a trade route to the Indies. Instead, he had to become a savage, murdering savage, a slave owner, and the father of transatlantic slave trade. And do you want to know what the worst part is? He has his own federal holiday. So really the point that I'm trying to get into your creative minds is that Christopher Columbus was terrible. He led to the further exploration of America, leading to the conquistadors, and that led into the murder and destruction of Central and Northern American natives and native culture. So the point that I'm trying to drive is that Christopher Columbus was really, really bad. So I thank you for listening to I and my History Day Projects group's rants about how bad this man really was. Bye for now.